Hi everyone, we are back with a new lesson video, and in this video we will discuss about substitute goods and complementary goods. So these are related goods in economics, and in this particular video we will discuss about how demand is influenced due to changes in price of related goods. So we will use this PDF as a reference throughout the video. As you can see in this file, we have substitute goods and complementary goods. So what are these goods? These are related goods. Means the demand of a particular good is linked to the changes in the price or the changes in the availability of the other good, which is the related good. In this context, it is essential to explain what is cross price elasticity of demand. So briefly, we will tell you what it means. So cross price elasticity of demand, known as XED, is basically the degree of responsiveness or the degree of change in the quantity demanded of one product due to the change in the price of its related product. So this basically tells you the extent of change in the quantity demanded of a good due to the changes in the price of its related good. Now substitute goods. So what are substitute goods? Commonly, we all know substitute goods are those goods which can be used in place of another good. So similarly, as you can see, these are products which consumers can use in place of each other. So basically substitute goods are the one which you use in place of the other good. Demand in case of these goods are influenced in the manner that when the price of one good increases, the demand for its substitute good increases and vice versa. So when the price of a good increases, people switch to the substitute good which is comparatively cheaper at that point. So the demand for the substitute good increases. Thus, the cross price elasticity in this case is always positive. Whenever there is an increase in the price of a particular product, people switch to the consumption of its substitute product. So the demand for the substitute product increases. Thus, there is a positive relationship between the price of one good and the demand of its substitute goods. For example, if we consider coffee and tea. Coffee and tea are substitute goods. So in this case, when the price of coffee increases, consumer will switch to its substitute good, which is tea, which at that moment is comparatively cheaper. So leading to an increase in the demand for tea. So this is the concept of substitute goods. There are other examples here. For example, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, these are substitute goods. When price of Coca-Cola increases, people will switch to Pepsi. Sugar and honey, when sugar is expensive, people might use honey. Domino's and Pizza Hut. So if Domino's is very expensive, we might just purchase pizza from Pizza Hut. Taxis and buses. If cabs are very expensive, people will just switch to buses. Physical books and e-books. This is a very modern example. In today's times, e-books are available everywhere. If physical books are expensive, people might just use the e-book, the soft copy of the book, and read from there. So up next is the graphical representation of how demand is influenced in case of substitute goods. In the graph, we will consider the cross price demand curve because this is the case of related goods. In case of substitute goods, on the y-axis, we will have price of coffee. On the x-axis, we will have quantity demanded of tea. As you can see, the graph is an upward sloping line indicating that there is a positive relation between price of coffee and quantity demanded of tea. Next are complementary goods. Complementary goods are goods that are consumed together. So as you can see, complementary goods are two products that are used together because basically consumption of one is enhanced by the consumption of the other. And in case of complementary goods, the demand is influenced in a way that if the price of one good increases, then the demand for its complementary good decreases and vice versa. So when the price of a good increases, the demand for its complementary good also decreases alongside the decrease of that particular product. You will understand this better with the help of this example ahead. So in the example, we have bread and butter. So if you want, you can consume bread separately and butter separately. However, if you consume bread with butter, it will enhance the consumption of bread because it makes your bread tastier. It's much more fun to consume bread while you have butter applied on it. So basically, bread and butter are complementary goods. So in case of this, if you see price of bread falls, if suppose the price of bread falls, means bread becomes cheap, then consumers will increase the purchase of butter. People will also increase the purchase of butter. So alongside bread, the purchase of butter also increases. Thus the demand for butter would also increase. So complementary goods are goods when the price of one increases, the demand for its complementary good also falls alongside the initial product. So cross price elasticity in case of complementary goods is negative. Okay. Now there are other examples like you can see car and petrol. So if the price of petrol increases, then there will be a significant fall in the demand for cars because they are complementary goods and they are used together. Printers and ink cartridges. So if the price of printers have increased, then similarly the demand for ink cartridges will fall because printer and ink, they go together, and if printers are expensive, people are not buying printers, then it's obvious that people will not also be buying cartridges. Now shoes and shoelaces, goes without saying, they're complementary goods. If shoes are expensive, then no shoelaces. Movies and popcorn are very modern times example. So if the price of movie tickets fall, then people will go to watch movies more, and thus the demand for popcorn will also increase. Similarly, guns and bullets is another example. So up next is the graphical representation of how demand is influenced in case of complementary goods. Once again, in the graph, we will consider the cross price demand curve. So in case of complementary goods, on the y-axis, we will have price of bread, and on the x-axis, we will have quantity demanded of butter. As you can see, it is a downward sloping curve, indicating that there is a negative relationship between price of bread and quantity demanded of butter. That's about all for this video. Please do not forget to subscribe to Edu Remote, and we will be back with a new lesson video soon.